Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It is Wednesday, October 4th. Good evening to the people watching on YouTube. Good evening to the Facebook audience. I am 1 minute late. I apologize for that. Been trying to get everything together. Getting better and better at this. The sign-on is getting seamless. The YouTube people are on. YouTube people, please spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. We make a lot of effort to go live for you. And please spread the word. Send emails with the link up on the top and tell people to subscribe. Facebook people, what's up? The name of tonight's video is First Do No Harm. First Do No Harm. First Do No Harm, the Hippocratic Oath. And it is the oath of high thinkers, the Progressive Empowerment Party. One of the groups we have in the Progressive Empowerment Party, one of the groups that isn't more in the public eyesight is called the Advisory Council. The Advisory Council is a group of critical thinkers. To get onto the Advisory Council, we have to acknowledge that you're capable of seeing past the obvious. You must be able to identify the issue, cut to the heart of the issue. You must be able to identify to the heart of the issue. But more importantly, you must be able to know not only where you are, you must be able to, at the same time, understand how we got here and where we need to be. I need to be able to do as part of a team. The Advisory Council is to the Progressive Empowerment Party what engineers are to construction, to building, to just about any industry that manufactures stuff. We have plans, ideas, programs, policies that we advocate to you every night. We say that we are going to do X, Y, and Z. The engineers in the Advisory Council say, okay, let us see how exactly we're going to do that. Take, for example, we say that we are going to abolish the SEA. We're going to abolish the SEA. That by itself is a strong statement to make. You abolish the SEA, what do you replace it with? We're replacing it with nothing. We want to make all schools 10-year schools so that children go from 5 to 15 in more or less the same environment. And they grow together with peers and teachers and principals and systems that could become their norm. And they grow into a norm, and their parents and caregivers grow in a norm that allows for them to integrate knowledge seamlessly. They must go forward from grade 1 to grade 2 to grade 3 to grade 4 to grade 5 to grade 6 to grade 7 to grade 8 to grade 9 to grade 10. All along the way, in the absence of an SEA to separate fish from fowl, we want to monitor every child's performance in the country. Because we believe that all of the children in the country are entitled to the same high level of education. So the Advisory Council has a member whose responsibility is to engage the conversation on education. How do we accomplish this? And all the other members, all the other critical thinkers, they offer insights from their worldview into how we could do this. But the Education Council person, he or she is responsible for steering the conversation forward and arriving at a document that is a first draft. And the first draft goes before the same Advisory Council. And they all pick it apart, kick the wheels, take it for a drive, and then make suggestions back and forth. And we have people all over the world. The Advisory Council, it doesn't sit in a room. We have people in different time zones. One of the members, he is always 12 hours beyond me. When it's morning for me, it's night for him. And after the Advisory Council comes to an agreement that this is what we have no problem putting our name to, it goes to the executive of the party. And then it goes through the same process again. The executive of the party now, because they are all civic-minded contributors, high-level contributors, and we want to make sure, and this is the important thing, that we're doing high-level engineering that you only need common sense to understand. So that the average person could read a document and understand This is how they propose to fix education, and I could read and understand that. So when that goes before the executive, again, the members of the executive have the option to make suggestions. Those suggestions are compiled, sent back to the advisory council. The advisory council, again, debates, integrates, puts together, this is now the newest version of the education policy, sends it back to the executive. Now this is for the National Council of Members to review. And we've not yet gotten there yet, but we are going to get there with documents soon for the National Council of Members for everybody that gathers on a Saturday, like this Saturday at noon. Every Saturday at noon, we gather as much of our members who have the time to come out. We don't set meetings for members. Every Saturday is members meeting at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. And those who want to join and become a member, you come in, you sit down, you realize you're part of a family immediately, you sign up, you join, and you have your say. We don't separate fish from fowl again. Inside that room, you're a Trinidadian, and you have love for this country because you're here. So we will address you as a member. Sign up, buy a jersey. I mean, you don't have to buy a jersey, but people usually want to. And the general membership, they too are going to make suggestions. They're going to make suggestions either in an open format where it's going to be debated and discussed. We will put out and call for public consultation in our membership. And the membership will be able to offer their own opinions and advice. Again, it goes all the way back up to the advisory council. That's going to work itself to be an accompanying document to our manifesto. Our manifesto is going to be called Reboot the Republic, a contract with Trinidad and Tobago. Accompanying the manifesto will be a document much bigger called Just Push Play. So in the manifesto, there will be a section called Education that explains to you the policy. And in that document, Just Push Play, will tell everybody how exactly we're going to do what the manifesto says. How it will be done, where, when, why, at what cost, who gets to do it. And you as a citizen could access all of this information. You as a citizen would be able to access all of this information and weigh in on the conversation. I had to tell somebody today, it is my dream to do something. This way I have this conversation with you every night. I don't want to lose this conversation. I may not be able to do it nightly if I am in public office, but I hope to be able to do it at least weekly. But instead of you seeing me every night, we plan to do something that monitors what we call the national mood. It's the quality of life index. Everything that can be measured will be measured. Traffic, crime, cost of living, food, anything that goes to affect how you live your life, the average citizen, is able to be checked, broken down first by item, then by constituency, and then by community. So we'll be able to tell inside Diego Martin West which communities are happiest, which communities are faring best, which communities have the most crime, which communities have the least crime, which communities have the highest education returns. You will be able to look at this, and there will be a questionnaire available to you every single day. Are you happy? Happy now? Are you happier today than you were yesterday? If not, why not? We want that data. We want that data every single day because it will help us as government plan the national agenda to make sure that the public gets what the public wants. Because that's the closest you're going to get to direct democracy, impacting upon the national conversation from a I feel this way level. I feel comfortable, or I feel fearful. And you have to say why. Why do you feel fearful? And those details create a data response. We say, we get a number, and we will know that the national mood is that 72% of the people are happy, or 65% of the people are unhappy. And anytime you get an unhappy or a negative report, we want to know in the cabinet what exactly is trending and why. So we get that people in certain areas have a problem with certain things. And this is direct feedback to the cabinet, because the people in Port of Spain and environs have a problem with the morning and the evening traffic getting into there and out of there. And you know, you have an idea what's bothering them. You will be able to get that the people of Carenage are fed up of the traffic that's going to Chagaramas, that's isolating them in their homes for 9 hours out of the day, and that something needs to be done. And maybe you could look at going in there and solving that problem. At the end of the day, it bypasses the constituency board of supervisors, not to go over their heads, not to go over their heads. Because generally, when the information is collected and we see that Diego Martin West have a problem, you send it to the right person in that board of supervisors and you say, action this. Action this. Your people are not happy. Your people are not happy. Action this. You have traffic, you have crime. Joblessness is on the rise. Too much noise. Your people have a noise problem in the community. Action this. And the board of supervisors that is made up of a supervisor of health, education, public works, public utilities, and security. Between those 5, if they can't action it, they kick it back to the cabinet beyond our purview. And you will have a government set up on one leg. Service. Serve the people. Because, and somebody sent this to me, and I will never forget this. Let me tell you something here. When I get a truth, it goes into a wall that I'm building. A wall of truths. Every time I hear a block, I add it. Like when Father sent us, who blessed our office, and he said, be leaders who serve and servants who lead. I'll never forget that. Somebody said to me, the purpose of government is the well-being of the people. And I will never forget that. It is so perfectly, properly said, that the purpose of government is the well-being of the people. Happiness is a symptom of well-being, as is sadness. You need to measure how your people feel. You don't have to be doing any kind of rocket science in Trinidad and Tobago right now to know the people are fearful, frustrated, depressed, angry. Those are not good things to hear. You need to find out, why are you depressed? Well, boy, jobs, I can't own a home, I can't feed my family, problems in the community, I feel like they have nobody I could make a report to, nothing in government service, no police, no member of parliament, no judge, nobody taking me on. I feel isolated, like I am just here to pay taxes and shut up. So I'm depressed. I'm fearful because crime is very high. I can't tell criminal from police. I don't know who to turn to. I'm worried for my family, so I don't sleep well at night. You need to address these things. Now, I want to tell you something here. Trinidadians have short memories, and we will fix a lot of these things. And they wouldn't remember. Somebody said to me today, I met with Anil from our Canada chapter. Anil came to Trinidad to do some business, but to meet with us and to meet with me. And he wanted to say, he said, Philip, I watched a couple of your videos before I joined the PEP. And then I joined the PEP and got as involved because Anil is probably going to be the head of the PEP chapter in Canada when Boya Kanek leaves to come back to Trinidad to take up a position with us here. Anil is going to be the head, and he said that I'm on it and as involved in it as I am because I heard you talk and say that you want and that the PEP wants for people in Trinidad what I take for granted here in Canada. The services that I take for granted here in Canada, you are talking about it as if it's an elusive dream and that you're fighting for that for the people. And I have family and loved ones in Trinidad. And I want them to have what I have. More. Plenty of our foreign-based Trinis left here looking for a better life. They went to look for a place where they don't have to be depressed and angry and fearful, scared, hungry. They went looking, and so many people that I knew a guy in Trinidad. He was a serial bartender. That was the best job he could get. His brother was in a bank, a loans officer. So there was a disconnect into whose value is what. And he went away to Houston, Texas. And in quick time, got opportunities and ended up in the stock market and is a millionaire. And when he comes back to Trinidad now, flashes big money. Big. Same guy. And you're a girl. I knew a girl that the only job that she could get in Trinidad was a promoter girl. She and her sister. Gorgeous. And they were exploited to sell beer and rum and cigarette and whatever it is, because we live in an environment that doesn't give our people hope and opportunity. And she get one break. She get outside there, one break. Do you know the girl in her last exam passed the exam first in the world? In Trinidad, she's tits and ass. In America, she's the #1 most knowledgeable criminologist in the world for her year. Think about that. A guy that was working in a restaurant in Trinidad went to Canada, invented a 1-ton folding machine. They had him on video and stuff. And I know too many stories of people. I look at my brother in Canada. My brother has more degrees than a thermometer. I tell him that all the time to make a joke, because he is always studying something. He's a doctor of many things. And he works for Canada Health, and he's an epidemiologist. And he's the guy that they send when they have SARS and they have swine flu and bird flu. He's first responders. They have to go and find out what the hell really going on. And all my brother does is study and work. But his life pays him well enough that he could continue to do better for him and his family. Upgrade your home, upgrade your car, not from a position of greed like we do it in this country, as I get it, I want to sell it and buy. No, because in countries like Canada and America, and even the United Kingdom, they set their policies to accommodate your well-being. And office holders, if they don't function to the level they've been hired for, they get fired. When people in Switzerland, Sweden, Holland, Finland, Iceland, you don't hear about them in the news. When you hear about them in the news, somebody in trouble. Because they pay 50, 55 and 60% tax. And they pay that well. But everything works. Everything works. Nothing breaks. If it breaks, there's a plan. There's an actual plan. When you look at what is Trinidad and Tobago, just with a critical eye, look at what is Trinidad and Tobago, and you will tell yourself, is beasts run this country? Beasts. This couldn't be humans. Humans could not do this to humans. Beasts did this. I'll tell you why you have to say that. Patrick Manning alone spent $500 billion. You know that? The average person in the PNM, the average supporter of the People's National Movement, who attack me on a daily basis for having the temerity, the brazenness, the bold-facedness to dare speak against the Balize, they don't understand that Patrick Manning spent $500 billion. $500 billion. A boom passed through this country under Patrick Manning and was quickly spent. Quickly spent. Called the heart and all of these people. What they did was insanity. I mean, we actually had a party in this country. We threw a fete and spent $1 billion on it. We threw Chogam and spent $1,000 million. Money had no value. And we could spend it because it's there to spend. But to the people of the PNM, what they need to understand is that each of those $1 billion could have built for them, could have helped them. It don't have to be a handout, it could be a hand up. But it could have helped them with a proper starter home. And each $1 billion could have built 20,000 homes. When you go into Powder magazine and see what the National Housing Authority that became the HDC, Housing Development Corporation, did to the supporters of the PNM, you should feel sick to your stomach. Sick, disgusted. But just drive down south, look left and right, and see all that wasted farmland. We have farmers in this country that drink Gramazone, hang themselves, frustration. Kamala was in power. Vasant Bharat was Minister of Agriculture. And I want to tell you, neither of these parties, so UNC just as bad, if not worse, but stick a pin there because I want to talk to PNM people tonight. Because the PNM just gave you a budget Monday and told you, tighten your belt. I'll tell you why tightening your belt. Your neighbor beat his wife mercilessly. And the police come to lock you up. That's the equivalent. I want to give you an analogy. Your neighbor commit crime and you paying the price. The government has admitted that state organizations are ripping the country off. And instead of firing everybody in the state organizations and bringing the police in and doing investigations for theft, they are charging you with the shortfalls of those state enterprises. WASA, National Flour Mills, TNTech, National Gas Company, Petrotrin, all of these organizations that are used, here how they use, right? They're allowed to run up debt so that the Minister of Finance comes to the Parliament at budget time and says, well, boy, debt is a monster that eats your children. Debt is a monster that stalks your happiness. Because these organizations are allowed to run up debt, when the minister comes to the Parliament, he doesn't take responsibility for it. And he doesn't say this government or the last government is taking responsibility for it. He shifts the responsibility to you. And you are told to tighten your belt and pay the bill. Yeah? Just dealing with somebody here. You are told you are going to pay the bill. But the truth of the matter is, what the government is supposed to do when every time it comes to the Parliament and it says, Coleman was supposed to start the first 3 days of his budget, because I estimate 3 days. You see, we live in a country where we elect people to drink and lime. We don't elect them to work and serve. Because if Colm Imbert's job was to serve you, the first 3 days of that budget report, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, it should be about 3 days, I estimate. Mr. Speaker, I want to report on last year's budget. We estimated to spend $63 billion. And I want to go through item by item as proposed at the start of this budget. and account to the people for their money. And I need to account for the Ministry of Works, the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Public Utilities, the Ministry of Social Development, the Prime Minister's Office, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, any ministry and any organization that got funded, I am going to account for the funding now. I'm going to tell you what was done with that money and how it developed and bettered the nation before I go forward. So that the people have an understanding that last year you said that I'm giving $5 billion to the Ministry of Works. And that $5 billion represents 50 by 100 million. 41 of those 100 millions, $4.1 billion, is divided $100 million each as a budget for maintenance and development of each constituency. No, they do not get the money. They present a budget knowing that they have a limit of $100 million. So then the Constituency Board of Supervisors, led by the Supervisor of Public Works, says, this is what we have. Tell me what you need. The Supervisor of Education says, well, we need 2 schools and we need this one fixed. And you work it out, okay, $7 million, right? Out of 100 million, I have $93 million left. And the Supervisor for Public Utilities, the Supervisor for Health, the Supervisor for Security, they all weigh in on what they need. And right, so at the end of that, right, I have $41 million left for public works. And in that public works, I have to do things like community centers, road maintenance, road building, drainage, reservoirs. All of these things have to come out of that $100 million. And I'm going to break it down now, line item by line item, as provided to me by the members, by the other supervisors, and I'm going to break it down and send it to the Minister of Finance. So the Minister of Finance receives a document from Diego Martin West. Diego Martin West has requested for its $100 million. This is what they're going to engage in for the next 12 months. So we have an idea in central government what Diego Martin West is going to do. So during the course of the year, Diego Martin West is going to give out contracts, not us, them. Diego Martin West says, I'm doing all these things. And they're going to give out contracts in Diego Martin West because the law will be Diego Martin West's Board of Supervisors could only give contracts to companies and people from Diego Martin West. So that way we will make sure that $4.1 billion works its way right down to the constituency level. And that when they send bills to be paid, because they send an invoice that they get from so-and-so construction for building a bridge across so-and-so river, and it's 5.6 million, and we check on their budget that they had submitted at budget time, and we see that this was a proposed line item between 5 and 7 billion. It falls within the range, and it was budgeted for. The company that is right, that did the work is from Diego Martin West. Write the check and send it back. You see that way the country is run. There's no corruption, because the corruption happening, it happening at the constituency level. And because it could only be 1/41 of the corruption that's taking place now. But you need to have a government that cares to do that. I tell Trinidadians, right now we estimate in Trinidad to build a house is $500 a square foot. But a house could be $100 a square foot to build. 65%, go and check this. Anytime you doubt me, go and do your own research. If you find that I am wrong, my wall is open to the public. You don't even have to be my friend to write on my wall. 65% of the cost of all building material in this country is rolling taxes. Duty, VAT, all manner of taxation on that material at the construction and development stage, the machinery that they needed to make the blocks. A caring government that wants to put every Trinidadian in a home would, for the next 5 years, remove all taxes, all duties from building materials, and would work with the private sector so that they could make money, make a profit, but don't gouge my people. Because if you gouge my people, I open the market to China, Brazil, and India. and America. I will let them come and sell to my people. I will let Walmart come and build a house in Trinidad. So you have two options. You deal nice or you fight up with the real gougers. Because they will come in here with the economies of scale and still make 3 times the profit you make it and undercut you. So understand that we want everybody to live and play nice. Because at the end of the day, we want all of our people to own a home. We want our people to be able to own a home. Yeah? That would be one of the first steps towards right-sizing the country. That we get everybody in a home. Quick time. A lot of the money that is being spent now, I just distracted for a minute because I have to block a troll. Right. A lot of the money that's being spent right now is being spent on things that will never benefit this country. Patrick Manning built buildings before 2010 that was never used between 2010 and 2015. That's still, all they're doing now is allowing Rowley and Imbert and the rest of these clowns to give out contracts to develop them further. Those billions of dollars, every billion, Napa, Sapa, Tapa, are they nice? Yes. Do we need them? No. Be honest. If you had gotten 20,000 houses for the money for Napa, Sapa, Tapa, wouldn't we have done better? Instead of giving you one Scarborough hospital, couldn't Tobago have done better with a Tobago West and a Tobago East accident and emergency center complete with minor surgery suite and fix the existing Tobago hospital? Think about it. They spent $1 billion there. That was 20,000 houses they could have built in Tobago. But you understand, the population of Tobago is 52,000 people. 52,000 people. So if you build 20,000 houses, you just built a house for every 2.5 people. You could have rebuilt every house in Tobago. You could have rebuilt every single house in Tobago for the cost of one vanity project. Scarborough Hospital, not worth $1 billion. Like Kamla's Coover Hospital, not worth $1 billion. Like Manning's Taruba Stadium, not worth $1 billion. Napa, Sapa, Tapa, not worth $1 billion. Those 4 things that I just called there, that's 80,000 houses. 80,000 houses. Think about that. 10 out of the $25 billion that we gave to Dupree, that was stolen as Clico and CL Financial, could have built 200,000 houses. $10 billion out of that could have built 200,000 houses. 200,000 houses. At an average of 4 people a house, that is enough houses for 800,000 people could have been built in this country. In this country. And we had opportunities to take care of our people that they never did. Understanding that the well-being of the citizen is the primary responsibility of government. So when Colm Imbert reads a budget in the parliament heavy on losses that the people didn't incur, Colm Imbert is a criminal. Should be fired. And Keith Rowley should be fired more. And you notice I'm not using any expletives there. Trying to be very parliamentary for you. But I want to cuss. I want to cuss. I'll tell you why I want to cuss. Because Mova, Beetham, Lavantel, and Silots could have been fixed 100 times just with the money from Clico. PNM followers, PNM members, grandchildren of Africa, understand that the money that was taken from your children and grandchildren and given to Dupree and his, that money could have rebuilt that whole ghetto that stretched from Beetham over the mountain onto Ladion Road. That money could have turned Mova, Beetham, Lavantel, and Silots into Goodwood Park. could have built hope and opportunity, could have relocated the dump, and in place of the dump, because people tell me people need to work across the road, we will move the dump and put the largest industrial and commercial sector in Trinidad right there, stretch from Wassa pumping station all the way down the highway till we reach El Socorro. Going down the road, we'll backfill as we need. Yes, I know it's mangrove. What did Sadiq Bashad say when they was building Movitown? We will move the mangrove and then we will put it back. Actually, I didn't take that shit. PNM supporters. People's National Movement supporters. Keith Rowley leads a criminal organization. Keith Rowley leads a criminal organization. But he couldn't be where he is without you. So you have to conspire with those criminals in the PNM. You have to conspire with them to rob yourself and your children. You have to literally say other people's children are better than mine, and they must eat caviar and drink champagne, and I must ask my wife to make pap for my children in the morning. Sprinkle some brown sugar and flour and water. Stir that together and feed that to them. The belly swell up and they're in school. They can't think, they can't learn. They're coming out of school stupid 5 years later. You just breed a security guard or a bandit. Because you're too foolish to understand that the well-being, your well-being, is the primary responsible of Mr. Mustang. Short man syndrome. Short man went and tell everybody, pay your fair share of taxes, while he just buy $1 million car and get $300,000 discount in taxes that he didn't pay. PNM people, PNM supporters, go Balize house and ask Colm, where my Mustang? Where mine? Where my Mustang? But keep the Mustang. Why my children eating pap and all your fancy boys up here throwing food away? Tell me. Tell me why my children belly swell up, fly landing on their eyeball, and you air conditioning your doghouse. Explain that to me. My car falling apart. You just tax the tires on my freaking car. And your car lose the new car smell and you sell it. How is this anything like fair and reasonable for anybody? How is this? And it is the People's National Movement supporters have to fix this. Because when they say about you that you're so stupid that you're going back and vote for PAP, that you're going back and vote for Beatum, for canal running through your house, that you're going back and vote for C-lots, that you know when government boots going and come and kick down your house and drag you and your children and your meaningless few possessions and throw it in the road for CNC3 and Samson Anton to come and read and watch and say, and here's news. All your business literally in the road and you're crying on the camera. You don't know where your children's sweeping tonight, but you're voting for that. You're voting for that. People's National Movement supporters. You have been voting for this for 51 years. You voted to the people of Diego Martin West, to the People's National Movement supporters in Diego Martin West. You know where you all live? You all live in La Puerta, where the higher up the hill you go, the less chance you have of dying of old age. From La Puerta, a Bajon kick up a man in the morning. 2 hours later, bullets. And he dead. In the same clothes he was wearing when he kicked up the first man. All your PNM supporters in Diego Martin West, I want you to understand this. All you're living in Factory Road. You can't give a house away in Factory Road. People don't like to drive in there. Up that mountain. Give me a break now, man. We know where the guns is. Factory Road, Covine, Bagatelle, Rich Plain. There are 2 gangs in Rich Plain. Rich playing top and rich playing bottom, killing one another and innocent victims. Sufferation is the order of the day. They don't have gang in Goodwood Park. In Goodwood Park, they go Martin West. In Goodwood Park have no gang. Nobody shooting one another in the street. They're eating caviar and drinking champagne. And I'm using it again for you to understand that the wealth in the country is not shared properly because you're an ass. You're a fool. Somebody has convinced you that it is okay for your children to drink pap and eat pap. That is your life. Lance Mitan, Big Yard, Abi Pujad. You can't turn around in the street. Everything you own falling down, collapsing. Thief no breaking by you, you gotta leave money. And your government is doing nothing to help you. Not one item in the budget addressed you. But they say, I'll take away the education grant that could have rescued your pap-eating future security guard and maybe give them a hope and an opportunity. I'll take that away, but I guarantee them a 10 days. Just enough money to be hungry for the next cycle. Ain't going nowhere. Because you have a last half pack of cigarettes, but you know the man who giving out the 10 days, you and he good. Or they play a wappy and a all fours last night. So you and your cousin and your brother and your child, all you happy. 10 days from now. Punching, flowing. Because that is the sum total of what your government and the care they care for you think that you deserve. Now tell me, how do I, with my light brown caramel latte complexion, come and tell you this is your situation? Who am I to tell you that? When every black man who makes it in Trinidad and Tobago leaves Morvan, Beetham, Laventille and Ceylons, the price of entering Westmoreland and Goodwood Park is money. You care where you come from, you have money, you can play. Supporters of the PNM, I'm talking to you tonight. The quality of your life, how you live now, is attached to your vote. I told Laventille East and Laventille West 5 years ago, marginalize all yourself. Marginalize yourself. Laventille East should have voted UNC and let Laventille West vote PNM. Make a decision between you. Next time, switch it. So all them jackasses now have to come inside there and do what they do for Tunapuna and St. Augustine and St. Joseph. Fight for your vote. No man takes flowers for a woman who ain't going nowhere. No man takes flowers for a woman he could take for granted. Our truth, all of the problems in this country are as a direct result of your unwillingness to take responsibility for the well-being of your children and for your own future and vote responsibly. Anything else you say is the problem. Have nothing to do. This is the problem. And you now have an opportunity to come and listen and hear. And even if you don't like me, and even if you have to vote PNM because you tattoo it on your skin, come and hear what I say and go back to Balize house and say, Colm, why we not doing that? Kitos, this man said that we could own a home. That the money you're looking to spend on the Manzanella Highway to nowhere could build 10,000 houses. People suffering. You're going to give Rohan, Sinanan, family $500 million to start. You know it's going to cross $1 billion in overruns because it's P&M. The lowest bid means we left out the bolts, the screws, and the engineering costs. That means additions, cost overruns. We start the project. If you don't want us to add it, pay us off and there we go. So you get $2 work, then you pay $500 million for, like Maracas Beach. Like 19 schools in this country. The children jam up all over the place. They have nowhere to go because you are voting for people who don't care about you. How do I get you to say, fire truck Philip Alexander? But I want your ideas. And I'm going to him. And I'm going to demand my house. Because if you could do it, he could do it too. 55 years. 31 of Keith Rowley. And Carnage stink and dirty. Locked in a time warp. Driving cocorit. They build a hospital and a massive ficus tree. So when you drive past, it looks very ornamental. Go behind it now. Turn in Lady Ho Choice Circular. Drive and see how people live in this country. 50,000 people. Go and see how they live in. Cheek by jowl on top of one another. When one man toilet flush, everybody toilet flush going down the hill. Go and see how these people live. Go and see how they live. And you know what you all do? You all set yourselves up for other people to say, oh, you like it so. But you can't like it so. You cannot be liking it so. You cannot know homelessness, destitution, squalor, poverty, murder, violence, criminality, police, lockup, jail, court. You cannot like that as your condition and worse. You cannot want that for your children. You cannot. And if you think that you want for a second change, try me. I promise Diego Martin West. I will make Rich Plain and La Puerta shine like Westmorelands. Try me. Try me. Because I not Keith Rowley, you know. I couldn't tell a golf club from another club. I not him, you know. I am this to make a difference. Try me. And when we give you the rest of the candidates, try them. Because a progressive empowerment party government, you don't have to tell us they're not working. We are tracking critical information. And if our members of parliament not performing, we will fire them. You don't have to. We are going to separate the legislature from the executive. That is a fancy way of saying to you, Carl Membert is not supposed to be the Minister of Finance. He is only supposed to be the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Northeast, and that is it. A minister is supposed to be a separate person, hired through a system of law that comes to do a service that is overseen by the members of parliament. But Colm Imbert is only supposed to be holding office 4 days a week and going to parliament 1. And see you and hear you. Because stink and dirty Colm Imbert, who went in the people hired hotel and tell them, I'm not here to listen to nobody, is why Paramin looks the way Paramin looks. The road from Maraval to Diego Martin is disgusting. And that's the road. We don't turn off of it. We're afraid. We're afraid. But the people of Paramin have always deserved better. And the people of Paramin have been treated like bastard children and worse. Like we just don't care about you. All your stinking ass. Live so. You ain't have no rights. You ain't have no share in the billions of dollars. You and your family to ask with all you. We care about all you. And you agree. You agree because you vote for that. This is the time. Right now. Again. Don't like me. But organize Paramin. The whole of Paramin. Take a day off. Go down by Bally's house. And say, we're not moving till you fix that road. Lock everybody up. We're not moving. And I tell you, if CNC3 and TV6 mad cover that the next day, Beatam, Mova, Lavantil, and Silots will show up. Abi Pujad and Big Yard will show up because Balize House responsible. Because those members of parliament responsible to you for 31 years now at least. 55 that I know of, but they had some UNC governments inside of there. And the UNC to blame too. Because the UNC was the government of all the country. The UNC was not the government of Rapai Village and Caroni. The UNC was also the government of Morva, Beetham, Lavantel and Silots. But they've all been disgusting. And they've all played nasty political games with you. And it is time the people of Trinidad and Tobago understood what exactly went on in the name of governance in this country. And it is time to reject it. It is time to say, this is not enough. This is not good enough. We going downtown Friday at noon. I going to tell call member, no, we reject this budget. We reject you manipulating the economy. We reject you holding back foreign exchange for friends and finances. We reject you wasting our shares of this taxpayers' money and spending it on bullshit. We reject you and we prepare to fire you for it. Friday at noon, join us on the waterfront. It is time for this to be done. The PNM and the UNC have to be put on notice. If you cannot serve the people, we will fire you. We will demand an election. We will shut our country down. We will stop working. We will stop buying. We will wait until business starts to close down for you to come to your senses and call an election. Games, playing games in the parliament. Have black people and Indian people thinking that that bacchanal somehow will work for them. How come it never trickled down to you? How come all the racism didn't benefit any of your sides? How come? How come 55 years of racism have you still poor and sucking salt? How come? This Friday at noon, come and join us and tell call member, no. Vocalists have sore throat. Keyboard is playing wrong note in this band of serial politicians. Their lyrics not rhyming. Some have no sense of timing in this band of parliamentarians. Our democracy at risk. When this section called to the fore, music run to the core, who arrange the score. So impure with the UNC and the PNM and the COP and the political symphony. Lies, lies, lies. Your children suffering and Stuart Young arguing with Parrot about his jacket. Fire all of these mocking pretenders. We need an election that fires them. You sent Stuart Young in the parliament to play games with Barry Parrot. This is madness. You, your family, your friend, your neighbor, your job, walk out, lunchtime, 12 noon, your religion, your cousin, your uncle, your tanty, if you're dragging one foot, if you're crawling, if you have no car Uber, if you can't Uber taxi, if you can't afford a taxi ox cart, start walking now. Show up outside the parliament Friday at noon. It is our country we're trying to rescue. You deserve better, but more importantly, your elders and your children do too. Those you are speaking for deserve better. There is a reality that you cannot cannot escape. We are victims of uncaring, unfeeling governments that laughing all the way to the bank. The only way the bullshit is going to stop is if you add your voice to mine. My voice loud. Give me the people behind me. Let us tell the government of the day, either put up or shut up, deliver or fire yourself. The people of Trinidad and Tobago deserve better than this. And we're not going to settle for this anymore. Let us go and tell Colin Imbert we have no more interest in anything that he have to say. We certainly don't have any interest in that budget. That insane budget. Yeah? Tell me. Do you want better for yourself and your family and your loved ones and your children and your uncle and your auntie and your tanty? Do you want better for them? Do you want better for them? That's the question. You alone will know. You alone will know. But I want to tell you this. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have a responsibility to each other. We have a responsibility to stand together, one people under one flag. And I apologize right now that if the feed might be sticking, and I understand all the bullshit. I mean, my computer, my phones, I have never seen something so ridiculous. I almost called the SIA the other day and say, listen, monitor the crap out of every call I make. But Christ, leave some room for me to use my own phone too now. Come out my computer a little bit so I can at least type a freaking letter now. Because I know it's all inside of here digging wrong. We're still going to do it democratically. I am not one of those that calls for them to burn it up or burn it down. I am one of those who calls for them to stand in numbers and stand on the supreme law of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and we will use it to fire you. That's who I am. That's what I stand for. You don't need to be rummaging around inside of here. Yeah?
Once upon a time there was a magic island full of magic people.
Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I am on 104.7 with Robert Amaro to deal with the budget. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, this live video will be replaced by a panel discussion.
Many rivers flow to this naked eye, bringing fear and pain, but also a brand new style. And of all these rivers that shape this land, two mighty ones move like a sculptor's hand. And today those hands across the land must be still landscaping. And there's no doubt we can work it out, there is no escaping. As the river flows, there are those who will change its passage. But every common man got to understand them and send a message. So put up your hand if you understand. Now come, see how we moving, watch how we grooving, see how we step in style. One lovely nation under a groove. The Ganges done meet.
Let us end the politics of hate and race.
Them boys with the hidden agenda.
Let us unite our people. One people under one flag. They're not ready. Election must come. Vote them into oblivion.
Come along if they want, 'cause the people got the power and the glory. See how we float in sky. See how we moving, watch how we grooving. And Jesus has made the night.
Right. At some point the YouTube people will get whatever feed they're going to get back. Everything ground to a halt right now. I still have you here. peptrinbago@gmail.com. That's the email address. Send your contact information. peptt.com is the website. peptt.com, that's the website. PEP, 2 words, that's the PEP app. It's available on any of the app stores, free of charge. Download it. This Friday at noon. This Friday at noon. This Friday at noon. You get to give legs and voice to all that outrage you have against the nonsense that's taking place in this country. Come and stand with us. Silent. One people under one flag. We're orange, we're red, white, and black. Come out in your numbers because the government and the opposition have to know. They understand already, you know. They understand already. They understand. I'm reading it, I'm watching it. The highest thinkers in the country. I watch Coleman but go inside the Hyatt and get slapped down by the powerful ladies of Trinidad and Tobago of all people. Slap him down, embarrass him into silence. The woman told him, if we in the business community were to treat our customers the way you treat the members of the business community, we would have no customers. And perhaps that is why the business community don't like you. And if you have a budget when nobody in the country happy, problems. Friday at noon. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, I am on 104.7. Tune in, I'll bring it live if I could. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, the live feed, and it is our intention, it is our plan, that every Thursday we will have a panel of members. People hot and sweaty want to see who else is in the PEP. So every Thursday night we will have a panel of different members dealing with different issues. And you'll hear the level of intellect coming out of this party. Saturday at noon. Saturday at noon, we have a members meeting at 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come out in your numbers to that. At the end of the day, all of the people who calling you out to shut it down and mash it up and all that stupidness, you have to ignore that. That is no benefit to you. What is of benefit to you is to join hands, lock arms, one people under one flag, and we stand together for a better Trinidad and Tobago. And we could do that. We could do that. The more of us that stand together, the better it is for all of us. Yes? So, until tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock, for that live panel show, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.